Jack, little baby brother on the floor, that's Mac. Bryn and Lynn are the family twins, and big brother Eddie's on the bayou fishing. On a river float, Papa's great big boat, and that's how my Papa goes into town. It takes him every bit of a night and a day to even reach a place where the people stay. And I can hardly wait until tomorrow comes around. That's the day my Papa takes the first to town. Papa promised me that I could go. He'd even let me see a cowboy show. I saw the cowboys ain't eating it for the first time then. I told my Papa gotta go again. Well, Papa said, son, we've got lines to run. We'll come back again, but first there's work to be done. He's got
let's go fishing. I'm on a mission. It's so pretty, I'd sure hate to waste this chance. We'll find a shady little spot, not too cool, not too high. Perfect for a little fishing and romance. Oh yes.
Back up and get out of here. Turn the lights on. Let's turn the lights on. Put the lights on. Larry putting in. And it's getting light. Of course, I'm going to start out with the old popper, but then I'm going to switch over to some small stuff. There's another bird that's gnarly. coming up in here. That's a good one. Ooh, fish on, guys, fish on. Size of that one. There's a 3-pounder, guys. I have to get the needle nose on this one, guys. I have to get the needle nose on this one. Oh, that's for doggone sure. this is a giant here. This is a giant here, man. This is a giant. Oh my God. Oh my gosh, this is a big one. This is a big one, guys. This is a big one. This is a horse. This is a horse. Let's see what's going on here. Oh, look at the size of this one, guys. Holy moly. Holy moly. These are hitting this morning real good, guys. Real good. Birds don't lie, man. fishing on. That was a good one too. Wacky worm, my man, on the old wacky worm. Whoa, 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 whoa. He wasn't getting off. He wasn't getting off. Ah. sun came out and that topwater bite kind of slowed it down a little bit, so I picked up a stick bait, you know, and started flipping it in a little bit deeper water, and started picking up a few. As soon as I picked it up or started flipping it, I started catching some pretty good fish. I mean, they were 3 pounds, 2.5, 3 pounds, most of them. And you know, I was using an ultralight there. I had some fun. I scaled down my line. They was only 8-pound test line, and I was using an ultralight. And yeah, just flipping it in there. I was using a stick bait wacky style, guys. I don't like to use no weight on it. I just like where they just pick it up, you know, and just barely move off with it.
He wasn't getting off.
And that's what they'll do. I mean, you know, you can use weight, but I've found that if you the less weight you can use, the more, it seems like the more fish you're going to catch. Now, that's just me. I don't know if that's everybody, but you know, once in a while I'll put a bullet sinker on front of stuff, or a 10-inch worm, or some black worm, or plum, or you know, dark colored worm here in South Florida. Most of the time I use stick bait. I'm not, right off the bat, I'll use a topwater bait, either a Zara spook or a whopper plopper or a buzzer, you know. And but after that sun comes up, and you know, I switch over. I come down here and I started throwing a jerk bait, hard jerk bait, and had one on. Then I caught a pretty nice crappie right here when I was using this. I turned my electronics on there, and I seen them out there. You know, it's kind of, you know, just a little bit suspended. So I thought, well, you know, I'll try this jerk bait. You could use jerk bait or a fluke or something like that, and you'll catch fish. But they wasn't bass, they were crappie. So I caught one there, and I thought, nah, that's enough of that. I've caught enough crappie this year. So, you know, and I had another one on, and I thought, nah, I'm going to move on. I don't really want to fool with the crappie too much today. I'd like to catch some bass before it gets too hot. But you know, the crappie are pretty good size. I mean, I've seen other guys that jigging up through the river there, and they were catching them. I mean, when I talked to one guy down there first got started, and he had 7 there within about 15 minutes down there by crossing Scott Driver. Only bad thing about them jerk baits, they got 3 sets of hooks on them, and sometimes they're hard to get off. That's the best thing to do with that thing. I'm sick of crappie, guys. I've got enough crappie to last me for a while this year. So I slipped back over to the stick bait and just started dragging it out in that deep water, and most of them fish were right off the drop. You can see the drop. You know, it's white, sand's white, then it comes out there and gets dark, and you'll catch fish there. You know. They were swallowing it there. Every one of them took that stick bait, swallowed the rascal down. You know what I mean? There wasn't no hooks in the side of their mouth. I had to take needle nose and get down in there in their belly and get it out because they swallowed it. But you can see right now, I think it's about 9:30, somewhere around there, 9 or 9:30, and there ain't a bit of wind blowing, and that's when I like to fish. I don't like a lot of wind. You know, I just don't care for it. I'd rather have the flat there. And the first thing in the morning, about every morning up till about 10 o'clock, you know, you got that. You can throw pawpawers, buzz baits, Zara spooks, you know, and catch fish. Yeah, this one was hooked real deep, and I was real careful. I went up underneath the gills there and took a needle nose and got it out. I use a bigger hook when I'm wacky style too, and them real small hooks, they swallow that, you can't hardly get it out. And I use a little bigger hook, and that way you can get a hold of it and get it out of there without killing the fish. You know, just as soon as you get it out, you want to throw him back in. But guys, it seems like there's a lot of fish, lots of fish, especially anywhere from a pound to 3 pound. There's a lot of fish, and it's just fun. I mean, it really is. It's a lot of fun, and they fight good. They're fighting good. I mean, there must be the river must be have a lot of oxygen in it. I mean, because they're really lively, and there's buku of bait in there, guys. Just buku of bait. Yeah, I flip over there and I just kind of bounce it off because there's not a lot of cover. I just bounce it off to that break, and seems like when it gets on that break, there's bait right there. I seen on the electronics there's a lot of bait right there, and bam, they'll just drive it because all the cover's gone. I mean, with the spraying and the low water's got it up on the bank. There's just not much cover for the fish now. Like, they just got to go out and kind of suspend there off the drop off. Man, you don't want to get, when that sun comes up, you don't want to get in no big hurry. Just kind of slow down, and you'll catch fish. Just slow down a little bit and just kind of pick stuff apart and bounce that worm off the bottom, and they're out there. Just when the sun comes up, they get out there out of that sun too. They'll go out in a little bit of deeper water, and they're nice fish. Yeah, it was a good morning, but I was talking to Larry. Larry had 3 people out today, and Randy had 3 people out today, and they were fishing with wild shiners, and they had I think one of them had 25 fish they caught on wild shiners, and I think Randy caught 30 fish on wild shiners. Yeah, the fish are really hitting. Of course, we're coming up on another full moon, but yeah, I had a blast. You can see it's just flat as a pancake. There ain't a better wind when I was doing this. So just not a bit of wind. And there's not much clouds cover either. I mean, that's like I was saying before, you start to get daylight about, I don't know, a little after 6. So, that's just going to keep up till June. That's just going to, I mean, it'll be 5:30, it'll be daylight. It'll just keep getting earlier and earlier, but that's all right. There he got her. Another one, this here swallowed it down too. I mean, it wasn't going to lose them. That's for doggone sure. I mean, they were swallowing it down.
much work to be done. He's got